Hey, so I haven't made a video in a while, and there's a reason for that. So let's get into it. So Cielo has had a second round of laminitis this year. He got better, and then went down with it again, and we had x-rays done because, clearly this was going bad fast, and he was really, really bad. And he's rotated in both front feet, and he's got sinking, so he's not going to be doing any dressage anymore. He's probably not going to be even pasture sound, the way things look at this point. So we're just keeping him comfortable in his stall and hoping for the best. I keep hoping that he'll at least be comfortable and we can take some of the pain away. But unfortunately, he's not in a good place. And then Jalal's been dealing with an injury to his elbow, shoulder, something in his right shoulder, front, whatever, for months, since going back to like January, where he may have injured it spinning in the stall or running in and out during storms after we moved him up here this winter. So he's been lame on and off. He was getting better, and then I got on him, walked around. He seemed okay. Figured I'd try a little trot, see how he was. He's like stubbed his toe, took a bad step, and then he was lame. And then left him for a while, tried it again a couple weeks later. Even just at the walk, he took a funny step, and then I was like, okay, that's it. So we just leave him be. So leaving him be, of course, he hasn't been in work, and he's been bored. He hasn't been able to be turned out. He hasn't had any exercise because he can't, because he's supposed to be on like stall rest, being kept quiet. So he's just been sitting around getting fat. And unfortunately, he's also highly allergic to flies. We've had a really bad year with flies because we had so much rain over the winter, and then we had a wet spring as well, and so anyway, we've had ridiculous numbers of flies. So he was battling that. He had two really bad reactions with the flies early, which we don't normally have a problem with the flies until like October or September, or August to September, October. But this year, because we were trying to do the allergy shots to make it better for him, he reacted right away early, started ripping his skin off, had to put him on the dexamethasone, got better. Kept him on the hydroxyzine, which is like amped up Benadryl. So he's been on that twice a day for a couple months. Then he had another blowout with the allergies, another reaction, started ripping his skin off, his shoulders, his belly, his backside. So I started him on another round of the Dex, and it's just like 4 days, 5 days of Dex, or maybe it's 2, 3, maybe 6 days of Dex. And you start them on it, and then you drop them down, and then they go off. Well, unfortunately, when he came off this last time, 2 days after, he was starting to show signs that he was uncomfortable, that he was sore, he was pinning his ears, he was looking a little angry, wasn't sure what was going on. And then I noticed he couldn't move over, he couldn't step across, wasn't sure if it was the shoulder, wasn't sure if maybe he was getting an abscess in his foot. Contacted my trainer. She said to start him on Bute on Saturday. So he came off the Dex on Thursday. By Saturday, I was concerned. Started him on the Bute Saturday night. Sunday, he started to look a little better. Still really, really lame. Did not give him any Bute in the morning, so my vet could see him that morning on Monday to see what she thought, and he could hardly take a step. He was extremely sore, extremely lame. Did the hoof tester. Right foot's worse than the left. She was getting reaction out of the right foot, which was the side that I've been seeing is having a problem for months. And so she blocked out the foot, and anyways, he was lame on the left after blocking the right, so it was both front feet were involved. And it turns out it's laminitis. So I have 2 horses with laminitis right now that I'm treating. It's very depressing. since Jalal was showing at second level, and we were hoping to show this year, but with the lameness early in January, February, I'd kind of decided that showing wasn't even a possibility this year, so we just kind of chucked that idea, was kind of hoping for next year. Don't know if he's had any rotation or what the severity level of this particular round of laminitis is with him. We're going to x-ray him on Monday, and we'll find out what the scenario is going to be for him. He's doing well on the butte. He's actually in there trying to get his boots off because he has cloud boots on as well. Cloud boots are $92 a piece. I now own four pairs of four total boots, cloud boots, like $400, and he's taking them off and taking the ice boot off as well. He's just rubbing. So this is kind of what the problem is with him and the flies. So you can see he's actively rubbing on the doorway. But obviously he's not going to go back on decks because that's probably a contributing factor, besides being a fat cow, to what is going on with him right now. So far he still has the ice wraps on, so that's positive. But he's been taking those off and throwing them out in the paddock, so he's very helpful. He's a challenging patient for the most part. But, so that's kind of where we're at, and so that's why you haven't seen much. Now my third horse, Regalo, he's doing well. He's coming along well. I had my fourth ride on him yesterday. He's still, going forward, teaching him to go forward, stay, go forward, stay, and trot until I bring you back to walk. He's already passed a lot of that with my trainer. It's just that he's got to get more consistent with me, and I only ride him, like I said, I've only ridden him 4 times, and he's been in training since January. He's been a little slow to develop, which is fine. We discovered he was 4, not 5, when we had his teeth done last fall, or actually this was December, January, when we had his teeth done and had him all fixed up before he started training. So he was 4, coming 5 this year. So he's a typical Spanish horse. He's a little slow. He has to think about things. He's not as reactionary as Jalal, my Arabian. They do take a little bit of time to kind of figure it out and think about it. So he is figuring it out and figuring out where he is with me. And so far he's doing pretty good. So it's going to be slow and steady, which is fine. And then we should be able to, or I should be able to show him intro later this year in a schooling show. We'll probably get him out a couple times, maybe August, September, October, somewhere in there. Get him out to a couple schooling shows, do a couple intros on him. Not cantering him or anything yet. He's still, very wobbly, very not between, trying to keep him between my hands and my leg at this point. So he's still very green horse. So it's going to take some time, and that's fine. Slow to develop is fine. So next year we'll probably be doing some more intro. Maybe by the end of next year we can see where he's at, maybe do training level, and just sort of take it at that. He's still young, he's still developing. So we're just taking it one step at a time. So I'll throw in some video clips of kind of where the horses are at and what's going on with them, and just kind of wrap it up here.